You might associate New Zealand with this, this, and this. Okay, hang on, we are getting close. New Zealand is also known for the Maori culture, with its history, culture, and language integral to the New Zealand way of life. Why is Maori culture so important for the Kiwis? We find out. But first, the flight. So we took a non-stop flight to Auckland, and they actually have quite a few cool things in the flight. Zen was seated away from us, so Josh and I decided to message him. They have like a WhatsApp or comms function where we can communicate with anyone on the seat. So if you spot anyone chio or handsome, you just need to know where they sit, then you can message them already. Oh, you can also order food or drinks or call for the stewardess from the screen. We went to look for Zen at his seat cause he ignored us. And this is the second cool thing that I saw. It's the sky couch. It's called sky couch cause, you know, you're in the sky and it looks exactly like a couch. It's great if you want to lie flat in economy class, and it's also a great option for families with young kids. Still can roll eh. Damn shook. So first stop, Auckland. We went straight to the Auckland Zoo, and the first thing that was introduced to us is Tuatara.
Well, they're not a lizard, even though they look quite like a lizard. Tuatara themselves have actually been around since the time of the dinosaurs. They actually technically have kind of like a third eye. So where the third eye would be is actually right on the very top of their head, so that they can know when to pop outside to get a little bit of sun.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, cheese!
This is our guide at the zoo, and he told us the history of silver ferns. This is a silver fern because it's silver here underneath.
Back in the day, when the Maori used to wander around the forest, they would bend the leaves back so they knew that they'd been in this direction before, because the underneath was showing. So this bush here is ringa-ringa, and so a lot of our smaller native birds and insects and things can hide in here because there's lots of little spaces in there and things like that.
Actually look like old people hair.
Yeah.
Ama hair. This is Renaud. He's our driver, and he very kindly drove us to see the volcanoes because volcanoes are really important to the Maori.
The name of the volcano is Mount Eden.
And this is a very old...
Not very old, but about 40,000 years old. But it's the volcano that is the highest, the tallest of all the volcanoes we got here in Auckland. The Maori people, our indigenous people, they used to talk to the nature, and the nature used to talk back to them. Especially places like this, because it's a volcano. It shows the power of Mother Earth. It represents a lot for the Maori people. We have to respect, only walk on the footpath and not go down in the volcanoes.
Then we came here for dinner. We wanted something cheap, and this place was recommended by our hotel staff. These 3 dishes are for $31. If you think $31 is quite expensive, this is actually considered cheap for them. The hotel staff said that he will come to this shop when he don't have money. Like for our lunch, this kong ba pao that Zen is eating costs $11. Yummy! The next day we set off to Queenstown. This is by far my favourite city in New Zealand. So I wish y'all can see the actual thing, but then on video it's very different.
We should go on Queenstown in Singapore.
I stay there.
You want to live in Queenstown and you live down there long?
We are going for the winter festival.
Okay.
Yeah, are you excited?
Very excited.
Very excited.
Very excited, yeah.
So today, everyone is here to celebrate the Maori New Year. It's called Matariki Torchlight Haikoi, and this place is also known for its ducks. Oh, the water's so clear! You see? Oh my god, zoom in on the duck. Funny.
Where?
basically we kick off the event by lighting the torch. This is part of their tradition, but it's only for Queenstown cause every city has a different way of celebrating.
You know what you said just now again?
Oh no, I say like I feel very touched and honoured because like I get to be part of their new year. It's like Olympic like that.
Yeah, it was really quite like Olympic. We held onto the torch and started walking around Queenstown. It's actually a pretty small town.
I think the boat is coming in. Not like a boat lah, but then it's called Waka. So it's like a canoe and it's part of their New Year tradition.
And we stopped at the beach. There were some performances and it's quite impressive cause it's damn cold. I felt damn touched at this event cause everyone is so inclusive. I found out that the celebration is a way to show appreciation for the Maori. Even though only 10% of the people are Maori, everyone is so protective of the whole culture because it was them who found New Zealand. So everyone is just appreciative and I think this is something that we should all learn from them. Then we set off to Rotorua to visit a Maori village. And the journey there was really great. Like I finally saw what I perceived New Zealand to be, a land of green.
We're here on the way to Rotorua and we saw this cow farm.
This is not a cow farm lah, it's a dairy farm.
Look at all the cows.
I love black and white cows, so I got a little bit too excited.
Oh my god, he's scared! Oh my god, don't run!
And Renaud, oh my god, he can imitate the cow and it's damn accurate. And here we are at the Maori village, Te Puya. This is Carol and she's a Maori. She guided us through the day and taught us a lot about the Maori culture.
2 words, kia ora. Kia means to be, ora means healthy. It's simply wishing you all good health. It could also mean thank you, you're welcome, cheers. It depends on which context you wish to use it, but it's 2 words you can't get wrong in New Zealand. In the past, of course, my people shared everything orally, through our songs, our dances, the haka, the war dance, and we shared our stories through the arts and the crafts. Now I'm going to teach you how to say those 2 words. Are you ready?
Yeah.
It simply says, Te Whakarewarewatangaoteopetauaawahiao. Your turn.
Te Whakarewarewatangaoteopetauaawahiao.
Excellent, excellent. So when you get used to it, this is how it should sound. Te Whakarewarewatangaoteopetauaawahiao. Yeah, when you get used to it, a lot of practice. There is another tree we call kanuka. So kanuka has a darker bark than the manuka. And the kanuka, it also has stronger antibodies than the manuka. So they make kanuka honey now.
Right.
But with the bark itself, we burnt the bark. It becomes ash. We boiled the leaves, mixed the liquid with the ash. Ink.
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 What that do it?
For tamoko.
Ham.
I have a tamoko,
Okay.
but it's on my back.
I see, I see.
And I can't show you my back.
Yes.
But I do have an instrument that's been carved for me. On it will explain to you
Okay.
what you can't see.
Okay.
Come on. So this here is a kawawa. It's a musical instrument. This was a gift made for me by my cousin. So I got my 2 parents, right? Always on the right-hand side, acknowledging the mother's side. At the top here, acknowledges my mother. At the bottom, my ancestors. On the opposite side, my father at the top. My ancestors on my father's side at the bottom. In the front there, those 3 seeds represent my 3 children. On the back, the 4 diamonds here, my siblings, 2 brothers and 2 sisters. So there, my genealogy being carved. For my tāmoko, it comes in the shape of a harrier hawk. My middle name is Kahu Pikaki. A kahu is a harrier hawk. Pikaki is struggling. So it goes back to my birth. I was premature. The doctor said to my mum, you or the child. My mother said, the child. Her name is Carol. Her middle name is Kahu. My grandmother gave me Kahu Pikaki because I was that struggling harrier hawk. So there's always a meaning behind something. And that also to acknowledge. These are our taonga, these are our treasures. These are what we can hand down. It's not gold, it's not diamonds, but it's the meaning behind it. Kōwawo too, acknowledging new life, the sound of the kōwawo, new life.
This is Naruma. She's a tour guide and host here at Te Puya, and she explained to us the importance of tattoos to the Maori.
The tattooing was only done to people of high rank in earlier times. It was an art that one had to belong, or the whakapapa, the genealogy, had to be of that line. It does have meaning to them, as it normally would tell their genealogy or their tribal connections. But for the tattooing, different tribal areas also had different patterns. So for the men, they would normally have around about 80% of their body tattooed. Now karakias or chants would need to be performed to be able to take one into a trance-like state, to be able to handle the pain they were going to endure throughout the tattooing. Whereas the woman, they could have that done pretty much all at one time. Okay, now it could also tell what tribal areas that different ones came from.
And now, it's finally dinner time! We had a traditional Maori meal called the hangi. So what's different is the way they cook the food. The food is usually cooked underground. They put them in a basket, and the baskets are placed on top of hot stones. Then they cover the food with wet cloth and a layer of soy, and that helps to trap the heat from the stone and cook the food.
This is hangi, food that is cooked with hot stones in the ground. So we have sweet potato, chickpea, lentil, chicken, mussels, and I think this is lamb. Yeah.
Haka is a very important part of the Maori culture. It's their war dance where they use on battlefields or when different groups come together in peace. So we came across this when we were at Auckland, when we were attending the graduation ceremony of Air New Zealand's cabin crew. So one thing I learned about Haka is pukana. Pukana is the action of opening your eyes damn wide and sticking out your tongue. This is to demonstrate the ferocity or passion, but they are not always a sign of aggression. Sometimes it's just a way of showing deep felt emotions. So we just landed at Christchurch and we are on our way to the Pure Pot. It's a 3 hours drive and we were supposed to reach here by 4 PM, but our flight got delayed due to the weather. Pure Pot. Yes, I've been dreading this since I've heard about the trip. If you don't know, this is what a Pure Pot is. And I have to live here by myself in the wild. Yeah, it's beautiful and all, but we have to trek in to get to our Pure Pot. Also, there's no internet, no TV, nothing at all. And the distance between our Pure Pots are like 10 minutes away. How can? I'm a girl eh. And as you can see, the sky is already dark and we can't find our way.
Say we should all stay in one Pure Pot instead. Josh agreed.
Yes, Josh agrees.
I think we might just until morning. Adventure. Oh,
This is it.
it's here?
Yep.
Oh wow. Oh, I'm gonna go Pure Pot and Kotara. Okay, we can all go.
You see there the blue squares?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so our flight got delayed, so we arrived at our next accommodation very, very late. It's very dark now, and we have torches to guide us in. And there is no cell phone reception here.
Kautrapod blue squares go that way,
Okay.
and Manukau yellow squares go the other way.
Okay.
But if you want to just go to one, that's fine. There's no
Okay,
problem.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank
okay.
you so much.
Okay.
Fantastic.
We are going to walk up now.
And we are only going to one pure pot.
Okay, let's go.
Oh my god, aha! This is the most adventurous thing I've ever done in my life.
Imagine if we don't have any torchlight. Do you think if we point our torchlight at the trees, they'll be pointy up?
Do you think I'm a loser?
No,
Yes.
I think you're very practical.
Right? Then you go my one lah. Hello? This is not 600 meters. I finished walking 2 rounds in the stadium already.
Then down here very slippery, very steep.
It's very small.
Very small. Step by one step, don't slide your feet against the ground.
Okay.
Just put one step down like that. Okay? Yeah, one step. Yeah. Okay. Look, you made it. Come. Come. Just take the next step. Okay, come.
We are here!
We're here!
Finally! It's so tiring. Oh yeah! We can take our shoe. Take our shoe!
Okay. I take out my shoe. Over here.
Oh my god!
That was really an adventure. But yay, we made it!
Actually, this is way smaller than I expected it to be. Ta-da!
This is the floor you see when you tap it. Very pangsai.
You can really see the grass. And you won't feel alone.
Because you are one with nature. You can see all the plants below. Look at all that greenery underneath you.
This is the bed.
Suppose we don't really need this anymore. Angela, make dinner. Yeah, come on, see your dinner.
Why? Wow! I what is this? What the heck? Okay, but thanks for plating for me.
Angela, if you want, we got cheese for you. Come.
We saw a lot of stars after a while and we shot the Milky Way. It was really pretty. But honestly, looking up at the night sky in the wild is a little bit scary because you realize how small you actually are. And then we went to sleep, and this is how the 3 of us squeezed in the bed. We managed to capture the sunrise the next morning, and Zen gave me a video shoot in my cow onesie. And that's it for our Pure Pot adventure. We trekked out of the place and honestly, it's not what I imagined the place to look like at all. Because as you can tell, last night we didn't see anything. First activity in the morning, whale watching. Look what we saw! It's the tail of a sperm whale. Fun fact, sperm whales can detect heartbeat from mammals, and they will know that you're warm-blooded and they avoid hurting you. This trip was great from the very start, and New Zealand really took good care of us. And I'm really happy for meeting all these nice people. One thing I've learned about New Zealand is that they are pretty much like Singapore. There are people from all over the world coming together to embrace the same culture. Our Pure Pot adventure also made me see the beauty in nature. By staying in the wild, it makes me realize how many tall buildings and streetlights there are in Singapore. This is truly a trip of a lifetime.